that to me is the story of the weekend.
Well, yeah, probably the story of the weekend. But I think the biggest headline of the week is, to me, is USC Clay Helton staying.
That's shocking.
That's
That
a
is
shock.
shocking.
That's not just a shock for just us, but also the fans, but also staff members that have actually, thought that he was going to be gone.
Well, even after the game when Clay and Lynn Swann talked right outside the locker room, and Lynn Swann apparently told Clay Helton that better days are ahead. I said, yeah, just not here at USC for him.
Yeah.
Right? For elite programs in college football, they don't have 5 and 7 seasons.
No.
Notre Dame doesn't.
No.
Penn State doesn't. Florida, all the big time programs across the country don't have those years anymore. You used to be able to get away with that, and apparently you still do here at USC. But generally speaking, if you're at a big time college football program, you can't have off years like that. Reuben Foster was claimed today off waivers by the Redskins, and every time I hear about him, Keith, unfortunately, is for the worst. Bad news, obviously, with his domestic violence cases in his life here recently, and how this continues to just play out. And the fact that he's still being picked up by teams is really amazing overall, that it's still going on. And I just wonder how many more chances is people actually going to give him? I mean, when it gets to a point where enough is enough.
Why would you even bring something like that to your team knowing that he has those type of characteristics? Now, if he did really do this and it comes down to it and they do the investigation, they do a thorough investigation, which I'm sure they will, he should never be back in the NFL.
Of course not. The great Chick Hearn, so many great memorable calls, Keith, so many memories. And obviously today would have been his birthday, would have been 102 as he passed the century mark 2 years ago, born in 1916.
I can still remember, just to be honest with you, Brad, was his last game he called. His 3,000th last game he called. It was 3,000, and it was against the Magics, and they had the ceremony. And just all the people that you can tell, like when they had that ceremony, people were in tears in his last game.
I guess it was the Cavaliers.
The Cavs, yeah.
And,
Nice.
he announced the birth of my daughter, Tyler Marie Williams.
That's amazing.
That's nice.
After a late-night bender in New York, Chick returned to our hotel, stumbled out of a taxi. He'd had one too many. That was like 1:30 in the morning. By 6, he was in the coffee shop, clear-eyed, fresh as a daisy, eating breakfast.
Draws are interesting because sometimes it depends, and the irony is a draw can be seen so many different ways. We often see it rewarding somebody for not losing. We often see it as a terrible result because somebody should have won. There's a whole different way to look at that. I always go into a fight really hoping there won't be a draw.
Yeah.
It's like football. You can still have a tie in the NFL, right?
Right. No one wants to see that.
No one wants to see that. You really don't want to see a tie game. You hope that no matter what happens, you can stay away from that.
Yeah, and I'm just, in general, if a draw does happen, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, is there an automatic rematch?
If it does, we're going to blame you for bringing
Of course.
No.
Knock on wood.
I'm personally responsible now. I'm sorry. You're going to have to own this.
I'm owning it. This statement that he put out said, Hunt, that you guys have up your site, it was updated, and it says, Hunt just made a statement on ESPN about our video saying, I want to apologize for my actions. I deeply regret what I did. I hope we can move on from this. No, you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds
Well, he
like
was hoping the video didn't come out.
I hope that you got caught. And so that's what that is.
Interesting. Oh, it's very interesting because if you look at in our story, we have a video under where the main video is that shows the altercation. There's some body camera footage that came from the police worn body cameras, and they talked to Kareem and they talked to his friends, and they sat there and they said that nothing happened, and they completely denied and discredited this girl. And I'm sure she must have felt like nobody believed her because the cops went there that night and they investigated and they didn't arrest anybody.
That's it. Main event is in the books here from Staples Center. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. They draw, Keith. It's a draw. Look, how can you call it a draw when Tyson Fury gets knocked down 3 times? I don't get it. But hold on. With that being said, Tyson Fury came ready to fight tonight. I can tell you that for sure. There's no doubt about it.
You're absolutely right. He definitely came ready to fight for sure. This was an amazing fight. I have to say, Brad, this was the fight of the year by far. And that 12th round was a classic. Plain and simple.
Lived up to the hype,
I
right?
mean, it definitely lived up to the hype and went the distance, and they couldn't give it to one or the other. I thought Deontay won it for the simple fact that he knocked him out. Just the fact that Deontay Wilder knocked him out and he was out and he got back up was just shocking. It's amazing to me.
Unbelievable.
It was unbelievable.
You thought he was down for the count. He comes back up and into it. And really just, I mean, continuing. You saw the fatigue there.